Okay, girls, to make a line of best fit, you first need to set up a grid, and we'll give you some grid paper, and you need to think about the scale that you want to use, and you need to think about how you're going to label each side. I chose X to be height and Y to be arm span, and they were both in centimeters, and it talks about this number is just the number of the person. And we're looking for this data, and so we want to mathematically try to find it with this. So the first thing I need to do is really carefully start to graph or plot these points. Now, if you have eyesight like mine, it might be a bit of a challenge, but as you start to really carefully plot each point, you'll see that it's not that bad. You can kind of continue on from where you were before. So I'm going to pause and do that, and then I'll come back to you. Okay, so I've put all my points on. Now this is this point at the end of the data after the coffee spill, and these are the, I'm looking for these three values and that value. And so I want to make sure I kind of get that in. I don't want to use my line of best fit and go, oh, well, I think it's this, because that's really leaving that out in the cold, that one. And I can see that there's some points here that probably would fall in between here somewhere. And so I want to be quite careful that I include that point, or that I get pretty close to it, and maybe even my starting point, that I get pretty close to that. Okay, so this might be good. I kind of try to go for the same number above and below, and I think I've done a pretty good job there. The points that I can see that the line goes through are, this looks like 138, and normally I would do this on a, I don't want to get too high so you can't see, on a different sheet of paper, but for the sake of the video, I'll do it on this paper. And this last one was 138. I'm just picking a point that I can see is on the line, 134. Let me just make sure I did that right. 138, 134, yep. And then the other point I tried to get for sure was the last one that I had, 168, 158. I'm writing those points down because now I want to do a line of best fit. And we remember that to draw a line, I hope you remember from last term, sorry, that we used these values with our points and a gradient, which was y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So this is good review for your end of year exam. So I'm going to do 158 minus 134 over 168 minus 138. Okay, let's see what that gives us. On top here I get 24, and underneath I get 40. So 24 divided by 40, I'll use a calculator a little bit here. 24 divided by 40 is 0.6, 0.6. Nice. And my equation of a line is y equals mx plus c, some of you will have remembered. And so I'm going to use this point here, 134 for the y, equal, I could have used that point, doesn't matter, and then 0.6 bracket 138 for the x, and then I'll try to solve for the c. So I'm going to use my calculator. I'll multiply 1.6 by 138, and I get 82.8 plus c, 134. And then I'll subtract 134 minus 82.8, and I'll get C equals 51. Y equals 0.6 x plus 51.2. And I'll use that to try to figure out these missing values, and your teacher can probably help you with that.